Good morning. So before I start with the main topic, which is the National Technical Library, I would like to introduce our studio. Projektil Architekti was founded in 2002 and is based in Prague, as was mentioned. There are 4 partners and 8 roughly junior architects. Our main focus is on what I define as contextual architecture. Context in a sense of physical environment, but also historical, social, cultural, and last but not least, the environmental issue. We believe that buildings or built environment should bring positive moments not only to the clients, but also to the surrounding environment. And also we put a big stress on a team that is originally created for each project, that is including architects, engineers, different types of specialized professionals, but also graphic designers, artists, and curators. And we think that team is crucial for the success of the building. And I'm sure you don't know much about Czech architecture, so I would like to introduce you a few things we have built in past 18 years. And you can take it as an invitation to explore Czech architecture. So first is the Center of Ecological Education in Olomouc, which is in Central Moravia. It's a low-energy house set in the border of natural reserve. House creates a sloping curve that offers publicly accessible roof in the form of a watchtower. It is solar house, which means that it's oriented to the south. And slight curve, you can see, is creating a semi-public garden. And the double-story porch is open with openable shading facing south, obviously. Northern facade is completely closed and is partially covered by soil, hiding service part of the building. And this is the interior. All living spaces obviously oriented to the south, made of wood. And on the right-hand side, you see the shaded south porch, which is forming outside living space. Another building is the research library in Hradec Králové, Eastern Bohemia, which works with a metaphor of letter X cast in fair-faced concrete. Facade was inspired by punched card that was used to be used for storing information in pre-computer times. And 2 front wings of the building are elevated, so you can walk under the building so it doesn't make an obstacle on the site. That's the central hall, entrance hall with the staircase, and this is the staircase. Another building is a NGO headquarters in Brno, southern Bohemia, or Moravia, sorry. It's an office building in passive house standard and in a form of a slim rectangle that cuts into a sloping garden, connecting the street and the slopes of Spielberg Castle Hill. This is the wooden grid facade that is waiting for the green mimicry. And the inside is richly lit because of the slender proportion of the building. Another building is a primary school at Líbeznice, which is a circular building set in a campus of school buildings in a small town near Prague. From the outside, it looks like a fortress, but the inside is providing feeling of freedom and transparency, playfulness. And last 2 projects I want to show are under construction now. So this is a children's house and dining hall in northern Bohemia, which is a cake-like concept with two typologies, dining hall and children house for pre or after school activities. And the last one is the headquarters of a bank in Hradec Králové, Eastern Bohemia, but I'm not allowed to say any details about this building. Okay, so let's start with the main topic. It's the National Technical Library. So for those who don't know where Czech Republic is, Germany, Czech Republic, Prague, this is positioned within the Prague West Davice quarter, and you see the 19th century urbanism unfinished, and the place, is surrounded by 60s and 70s structures. This is the place before we built house, and you see there's cross and car park. So it's mixed solitary buildings around, and the question was how to approach the whole urban environment. And we were guessing if it should be a block or if it should be a solitary building. And our answer was a solitary building with a green area behind. And the building was placed on a platform. And it was sort of creating central gravity of the whole campus. The concept. The director of Technical Library, Milan Svoboda, said in the beginning, why do we want to build a library in 21st century when all information is on the web? Progress is information technology is such that we don't know how it should be operating in 20 to 50 years from now. But he said a library is not a building, it's a social place at first point. And B, it should be flexible as possible, so we can adopt future developments. So we arrived into this scheme, and we added to it that the building should not create a barrier on the site. B, it should be as open as possible. It should provide some covered public space that could be shared by all students from the campus and the public as well. It should provide easy orientation and should have hierarchy of spaces from the public to the private, from group activities to individual activities. And so we arrived into a scheme with an open square at the ground level, this one. And the library was elevated above that square. Cars and books, stocks hidden underground. So I'll show you quickly the structure of the building. This is the ground floor, second floor, library starts, third floor, fourth, and the last one that is special, that offers open atriums to the roof. All the platforms are connected by 3, 4, 5 cores. And very important thing is the atrium, that it creates a heart of the building. And the skin, internal skin and external skin. So we have an idea of platform, and all the platforms, or the above ground platforms, are quite similar, and their organization is that we have an administration part here, enclosed lecture rooms and the sides, and this is a huge space, unlimited space for stocks and reading rooms which can be arranged in different way at each platform. What is interesting or important at that, we wanted to keep the building well oriented, so you can get oriented nicely all the time, and we wanted to help that by the system of lighting that is pointing to one. I'll go back to one point, which is in the middle of the building here in the atrium. So it works like that. And what was important for us is that at every point of the building you can see either the atrium or the facade, so you can get oriented with the help of the lighting pointing the center. So ground floor, I talked about the square in the middle and services around. So I'll lead you through slideshow of 4 entrances. This is the square where you can enter the building at any site you want. You can stay in the building or you can leave. You can hang around, or you can enter the library, which is sort of hanging above you. This is the lecture hall, art gallery, cafe, municipal library branch, and cloakrooms at the ground floor. So we are entering the library. So this is the bottom of the atrium. The only entrance to the library is here. And this is the place where you start to understand the whole building, because you entered the square with the roof and you don't actually know what's happening. And here you can start understand what's the whole building about. And it raises your curiosity and pushes you to explore what's above you. So let's go. Second floor, huge double-story reading rooms or study places that are hidden between the shelves, or really small places hidden almost nowhere. Study rooms enclosed, or some relaxation places next to the atrium. So you get different types of atmospheres. You can different types of places for individual needs. Third floor is pretty much the same, but we can go to the administration part. So enclosed offices, open space offices, and special lecture rooms. Fourth floor, sorry. Another type of reading or study places, special media. And the last floor is just under the roof with the atriums, as I mentioned. So you have a chance to see the sky and enjoy fresh air. And the last thing is individual study rooms that are positioned just next to the atrium. Technical textbook. The whole building was perceived as a technical textbook in scale 1:1. For example, this is you probably know what it is, diagram of a floor structure deflection. And all these diagrams were imprinted into the floor. So you can sort of explore and enjoy the deflections, the behavior of the structure in 1:1 scale at every point of the building, which is quite interesting feeling. Like you have big deflections here and no deflections here. Where is the column placed? Probably here. So it's a textbook about structural functioning of the structure. The other layer is the wiring and all the installations that are exposed. The reason is money, one reason. No suspended ceiling, but also the roof or the slab is thermally activated, so you don't need any. You must not have any suspended ceiling, and it creates strange decoration. You can see. No one was designing this. It's just naturally done by the workers. We just defined the position of the end of the lighting, and the rest was nature, let's say. Okay, load-bearing structure is a part of the concept that we wanted to use some high-end pre-stressed concrete structure with large spans, 15 by 15 meters, 10 kilonewtons per square meter is load-bearing capacity, which is related to flexibility, future flexibility as well. So this is, you probably know, it's a, how do you call it, mushroom head of a column with reinforcement. Here we have pre-tension cables with thermally activated tubes of heating and cooling, everything cast, and this is how it looked. I think all architects love their buildings when they're stripped, so it's architectural porno, sorry. And this is the atrium. Facade itself is a double skin facade. There are many variations of this facade. I don't want to talk about it. But it ended up in a sort of low-tech 50 by 50% opaque and transparent inner skin, and the outer skin is like 95% semi-translucent, which is working with the idea that library should be protecting you from distraction, so you cannot see outside. Which is really strange, maybe idea for some people, but we think it works quite nicely. This is by night. The other side in detail, and I'll show you how it looks from the inside. There was a big discussion about this with the client, but we have more transparent parts of the facade in the office parts and in the relaxation places, so you can see outside at some places. Another layer of the design was the interior. It was designed not by our studio, but by Hippos design colleagues, who designed special original sofas for this building. And as you can see, they went in the concept of using the technical information or chemical structures of chemical compounds, which can be set into different sets. So it's really free, and students love it. Another shape with the same possibilities of setting, and special sofas for relaxation parts next to the atrium. Check desks and cafe and many other things. Navigation system and graphics. It was designed by Petr Babák and his laboratoř, and They created original logotypes and pictograms for this building. And a part of it, they inserted a completely independent layer of unexpected information on surprising places, forming some kind of adventure game. This is, for example, signature of the center of the building, so you can actually find center of the building in the atrium, or these are individual study rooms. You can choose according to your IQ. And facade. And a part of it, they designed completely new visual style of the institution that matched the building style of the style of the building and the unity of the institution and the building. So books, all the advertisements, subjects, and so on. Okay. And the last thing is a central art piece done by Daniel Perzhovský. He's a Romanian artist who won a competition for this building, and he was sort of expressing library as a space for social interaction. He did 200 drawings alla prima, black ink on the fair-faced concrete. And he converted the atrium into a sketchbook, commenting social and political topics in a humorous and appealing manner. So, and so on. That's for architects. Okay, thank you for your attention.